Hey, it's Don, the Auction Professor here. Today we're going to talk about managed payments. There's quite a bit going on. Everybody's going to be forced into it. All the emails are going out. There's some things that you're not going to be able to sell under managed payments, which is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. It's going to shut down anybody selling cars, anybody selling coins and paper money, anybody selling bullion, and anybody selling any form of adult material whatsoever. Now, I sell some of these items, so we're going to lose a couple hundred listings at the minimum from what I see and not be able to list them. That's the biggest thing. There's people that I personally know that only sell coins and paper money. They are out of business if this goes the way it is and they switch over to the new payment system. Terrible, 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 terrible thing for eBay to go into. Knowing all of this time that they would have to do this is just crazy. eBay's having a hard time right now getting more people and selling more items. They are down the last 2 years from what I see. Considerable amount last year, over 6% decrease in items sold. For them to cut out people is just insanely crazy. They were doing fine with PayPal, and if for those who don't know, eBay used to own PayPal. Now they're back in the boat trying to deal with another company to do their own managed payments when they already had the option. Just terrible, terrible, terrible decisions all the way across the board. This makes me even more worried about the stability of eBay if they're going to shut down all the auto sellers, all the coin dealers, all the paper money dealers, and anybody selling adult magazines, movies, or anything else like that. Who knows what they're going to decide at the final result. Now, it says they'll work towards bringing these items back, but if I've got to take the items somewhere else and I find another source to sell them on, I am not going to bring them back to eBay because who knows, in another 2 months, they could make another bad decision and then boot me off on those items again. It's just crazy to do it that way if that's the route they are going to go. Coin dealers, I can sell coins on Amazon. Why on earth would I want to mess with eBay if they are going to do stuff like this? It's just probably the worst part of this that I see totally right here is shutting people down. I hadn't a clue that this was the way it was going to be. I don't remember reading that in the first things. We do use it in one of our stores, but again, the stuff that I sell that's going to be affected is the store that I share with you. So bad decision all the way around in that. Terrible. They've had a year plus to deal with this and to fix the issue where it wouldn't be an issue. It's still going on. Now, on the good side, eBay states that most people will save money. From what I see and what I looked into, that is probably the case for most people. Now, there is a post up, and I'm not sure where this is at. I just printed it up, and it's got a whole breakdown, and I didn't print it all up either. But the old way, let's say you were paying 10% final value fee to eBay, and then you still had to pay 2.9% to PayPal. Now it's going to be 11.5% for a basic item total fee, so the fees will be less. But the drawback is now you're going to be paying a fee on tax collected as well. Every dime that comes into eBay, you are going to be paying that fee on. So if you're selling something expensive that costs hundreds of dollars, it could increase your fees to eBay very, very easily. If they handle some of the other things like the 30-cent fee per order, that could be a problem as well, too, because people buy from us. They might buy 2 or 3 items throughout the day at different times and pay for them immediately, even if they don't have to. Now, if I combine them, let's say the next day when I go to ship them, what's going to happen with that? Now, I did address and ask that question to Brian Burke. Haven't had an answer yet, which is fine. Hopefully, they will just combine them, but I really doubt it. I believe that once it bills you, that's pretty much it. I would be surprised if they're going to offer some way to credit you back because, again, PayPal now, if you refund somebody for something, keeps the fees. I am sure that's what eBay's doing. Another bad decision, but, we're going to live with that. For the most part, you'll come out ahead, most people. Obviously, those are going to be booted from eBay because they can't sell those items. That's a huge thing. Who knows how big of a hit eBay is going to take from lost revenue from those items being sold. Again, not the time frame to be doing something like this. This is before fourth quarter. So what are these vendors going to do if most of their money was coming from eBay? There's no choice. They have no choice. They got to find some other source. And if they didn't know it till right now, they're running out of time to move all this inventory, especially if they have, 10, 20,000 coins or pieces of paper money or adult magazines or books, which we have hundreds and hundreds of those. So it's very troubling. So overall, it's pot luck on whether you're going to save or not save from what I see. I've done calculations. I've done the math. It's iffy on some. Their statement on most will be okay with this is probably correct. It probably is a majority. But again, if you're selling high-end items or you're selling multiple individual sales to one person and want to combine them, you're still paying the fees on shipping for every one of those items, even if you refund the money. So at least as of right now, by everything I've read, and I've read every inch of this stuff, that's what it looks like to me too. So, overall, you don't have a choice is the only thing. Now, there's a couple other things that I saw in here that I thought I would talk about too. There's a payment dispute option. Now, if eBay has a payment dispute and you want to mitigate it or anything like that, you have the option to do that. But you're going to be billed for anything like that. Any fees associated with that, you are going to pay. If there is a payment dispute over, like, let's say you sell an item that's in the ban list for, I guess, the charge card companies. It's not really explained very well. But if you sell an item, even if eBay allows it to be sold and you were wrong for selling it, any fees or penalties that might be hit on them from this company, you are going to pay. Now, for shipping, you can pay with PayPal still. I get money in PayPal from other sources, so it doesn't matter if it's eBay or not, in my personal opinion. You can also use the money that you collected instantly for that item to use for shipping as well, the money that you have held. So those are options as well. Another question when I get specifically, I've said it just a few minutes ago, but yes, you pay a fee on taxes. Yes, you pay a fee on taxes. There's no mention of any reports that will explain how much you pay so you can handle that appropriately with your taxes. So if they're not going to produce any reports, that would be a little bit bothersome if that's the case that has to be. So other things that they have added in, you will not contest the resolution of any dispute they start. So if there's a dispute opened by any charge card company or anybody, and it's decided against you, you can't dispute it no matter what. That's what the contract, that's what the deal says as well. Now, eBay may offer optional arbitration, which you will have to pay for at the cost of it, again, as I said. So if you sell one of those illegal items or a banned item, those are going to be your responsibility. Who knows what the fee could be? So again, that's a bad end on this in my book, of course. I looked at other contracts I have with other companies that we collect money on. There's similar clauses in most of them, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. The biggest ones, obviously, are not being able to sell certain items. Again, this is going to hurt some people who that's their whole business. Coin shops are going to be run off of eBay. Again, it makes no sense. Bullion sellers run off of eBay. Car dealers run off of eBay. Even if it's only for a couple months, these folks are going to go somewhere else, and chances of them coming back might be slim if they end up having to close down their store. I am not going to want to start over after I just started over on another site and bring those items back to eBay. It's just not going to happen. It's further going to decrease eBay's sales overall, in my opinion, in the long run. Bad decision. It's something they've had plenty of time to look at and fix before. Again, 2018 is when they announced these changes were coming. That's almost 2 years. Why didn't they do something about it instead of waiting to the last minute? Again, this is just crazy in my book. Overall, though, as I said, most of what I see with it's just standardized questions and answers for it. Payout-wise, they declare it can be 2 days. There can be holds on your account. They can hold a set amount of money for perpetuity if they wish to, though. That's in the agreement that you sign when you join it as well. So let's say you're selling risky items out of nowhere. They could opt to hold all of that money on those items at any point is what the rules say as well. Now, I'm not suggesting that they're going to do that all the time, but if you're new and you sell something that's very expensive, they could hold all of that money for weeks until it's cleared. Now, that could have happened on PayPal too. So again, I'm not going to ding anybody for that call on it. That would be something that I may take an action on if it was my business as well too. Now, one of the questions Mr. Burke was answering was, will I still get a monthly invoice? And the question is, yes, you'll have to still pay insertion fees, feature fees, subscription fees, and other fees. The only fee that's going to be immediately taken out are the final value fees. So at the end of the month, all you're paying is for listing, and that is it. One of the questions is eBay increasing fees with managed payments. They don't say yes and they don't say no, because obviously some people are going to pay more and some people are not going to pay more. So it's a mixed bag. They can't give you a straight answer on that because there is no straight answer. Obviously, this means more money in eBay's pocket no matter what, because again, they're not giving something to PayPal. For those, again, who don't know, PayPal was owned by eBay. eBay sold it just like they sold StubHub, and they're trying to sell classifieds. And now they wish they had it, from what it looks like to me. Again, PayPal, you can sell coins, you can sell adult magazines and bullion without a problem. But again, eBay's decision with the managed payment changes that as well. So payout-wise, you can get them like every week, 2 business days. I've heard many, many complaints about the time it takes to get them. So those would be some issues. Now, you can also use the very same account that you use for PayPal, your bank account, for managed payments as well. So it just depends on how you want to set that up. Now, you should never use a personal account for PayPal, first off, or for managed payments. You should always use a separate payment account that's set up as a business account through your bank. Most banks will give you a free business account to begin with, so don't have your money mixed together. Don't mix personal funds with your business funds. Never, ever, ever do that. Now, here's another question. Why can't I get funds the same day like I do today in PayPal? And they're blaming it on the credit card companies as well, but on PayPal wise, you do get same day payments if you want them. My money is available immediately, so I don't know how they can justify that statement. Again, I don't know who wrote this. This is just post by Mr. Burke. So, you know, those are the basics on it. Overall, it's not going to be a huge change. It might help you see some increase in sales, the bottom end, for those who are still going to be selling on the platform. Because you can take Apple Pay, Google Pay, charge cards directly, as well as PayPal too. So it gives you more options. I've paid dozens and dozens of times for things that I bought off business supplies, tape, and things like that. With the new system, if you buy your boxes from eBay and you're using your $150, $25, $75 credit for your boxes at the end of each quarter, you're using managed payments already. So there's not much to it. It takes a couple extra button clicks, and that's about it. Overall, it works fine. It's just like any other system that you will see. Same thing basically that Etsy has now. Amazon offers a similar way. You can pay multiple different ways as well. So it's the way of the future. It's a good thing for the change, but how it's being handled is my issues with it. As many things with eBay, they do stuff without thinking of the consequences and kicking off, who knows, thousands of people who sell cars, thousands of people who sell coins, bullion, paper money, and things like that, as well as tickets and things like that can't be sold either. But anyway, that's what I have for you today. Hopefully that gave you some ideas and some thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
There's a knack to putting yourself together. For the woman who has the knack, there's a new way to keep beautifully fit. Size 8. Size 8. For the woman who gets too hungry through starvation diets. Too active to live on empty calories. New Size 8 from Post. The delicately toasted puffed wheat flake cereal that gives you the extra iron you need. Because you're a woman. Extra iron for energy all day long. Light, nutritious, size 8 breakfast cereal. Sticks to your ribs, not to your hips. So, 34, 24, 34. Go. Get size 8 and wear it in good health.